All right, we're on the second step, accessibility. This is the most important step because it determines whether or not students or families are able to actually access what you're making. So, how you adjust accessibility is you'll have to go up here to this little gear icon for settings. Once you open settings, you'll notice this every time restrict to users in Detroit Academy of Arts and Sciences and its trusted organizations. We don't want that. That's saying you need to be signed into a DOS email account in order to access this form, and we want anyone to be able to access it. Another box you want to make certain is unchecked is collect email addresses, because that means in order for them to submit a response, they need to have an email address to submit. I'm going to show you how to make certain that you have your students' information in the question section, but we don't want that checked because that's just going to create more complications for us in getting people to respond. Another one, limit to one response, doesn't need to be checked. And I personally don't like ever having edit after submit, so I would leave that one blank. You can add on some other things here like show progress bar, so your students can see as they answer questions how far along they are. That way they're not like, oh my goodness, how long does this go on? You can click shuffle question order. If you have 6 questions that you're quizzing them on and you want to randomize the order for everyone, click it, it's going to randomize the order. If it's not clicked, it's going to go just as you have it. And show link to submit another response. If you have that checked at the end of the Google form, it will say, would you like to submit another response, and allow them to do it again. I personally will have that turned off most of the time. That way, students are doing the assignment and not accidentally starting over and being confused as to what's going on. And then there is quizzes. Make this a quiz, assign point values to questions, and allow auto grading. Oh gee, I will always have that clicked. Even if it's not a quiz, that way on the assignments, students are able to see what they are getting correct and what they're getting wrong. And then they are being able to have that instant feedback, and I'm not having to do any of that grading. Down here, release grades immediately after each submission. That way they can see it as soon as they finish. It will give them that score, 20 out of 21, the moment they click submit. Makes things easy, gives them that immediate feedback. They know how they're doing. If you have it so that they can submit another response, you can allow them to make another try to get a better grade. Or you can click later after manual review, which is going to have it so you have to go double check, make certain that the grade that it auto graded to is correct, which would then give you that moment where you can look over and be like, oh, they typed in the word 0 instead of typing in the number 0, and that's why it marked them wrong. And lastly on this part, respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, point values. So if you have missed questions checked, at the end of the quiz, it will show them which questions they got wrong. If you have correct answers checked, it will tell them what the correct answer is. You don't want them to know the correct answer and you want them to try again. You don't want that checked. And point values, that tells them how much questions are worth. I think it's good to have that on. That way they're able to see how much things are worth. Most important part to this step, you need to click save. You don't click save, all that work you just did is going to be wasted. And when you're ready to send this out to people, which I will go over this later most likely, click send. You can send to email addresses. If you click on this one here, that gives you a link. You can click copy, and it already has your link ready, and anybody can hop right onto your form with that link if you change the accessibility. But if you're looking at what we got going on so far, not really much of a quiz. So we'll go over how to make questions on the next part. Small little thing, if you want to, you can make that URL even shorter by clicking that box, and it will take you to the exact same page regardless of which link you use.